Hello, community. Happy Thursday to all of us. Welcome to today's community event on this beautiful Thursday. Welcome. This is our very last YouTube community event for this year, 2024. So it holds a very special place for today. So we are very thrilled to go through this session today with you. Welcome to everyone that is new for the first time, maybe, that tuned in to our community event on YouTube. We are happy to have you here with us today. Also, those that are consistently and showing up regularly to these community events, we are happy to have you here with us today as well. As always, you know the routine. We have daily tweets that we put out that bring, with the aim and ambition to bring awareness to our ecosystem, to our industry as the crypto industry, and of course also to bring awareness to the crypto industry and what we do, the challenges within the industry, and how we address those challenges within our ecosystem. So those who have not yet, I urge us to engage with the tweets as they serve to reach as many people as possible to bring awareness to the crypto industry, and also to inform, educate, and inspire, also address, or rather highlight, how our ecosystem is addressing the challenges we face in the industry. So with that said, thank you very much also for your comments. We'll, as usual, get to those at the end, as we want to first go through today's session, as there's quite a bit to cover. And then we'll come full circle as usual, and then we'll go through all your comments and then read them and respond to them, every single one of them. With that said, community, let's get right to today's topic, as there's really a lot to cover, and it's a review of the year 2024. It's been a very turbulent year. It's been a year full of ups and downs, full of surprises, anticipation, milestones. A lot has happened in this year 2024, and I can't say this enough, often enough rather. And it's beautiful how we started this year 2024 on Twitter Space. First of the year, January 1st, 2024, we kick-started with a community event, January 1st, and we're also going to end the year on Twitter Space as well on December 30th, right? So the next time we have a YouTube event will be on January 2nd, so it will be in the new year. So let's enjoy the last community event on YouTube in 2024. With that said, let's get right to today's session. As always, I'd like us to, if you bear with me, let me share my screen. So we can kickstart. All right. So yeah, so here we are today. Let's ensure that we kickstart with the market. Let me refresh and see that the market is up to date. Okay, we are down close to 3.5% for the day. The fear and greed index is at 63. And also what's important to see is that we see here clearly that Bitcoin is now below 95,700. Ethereum also dropped by, it's down to 3,300. And the market in general, as we see, is in the red. So why did that happen? What was the cause? What happened, right? It's really funny because ironically, it was a glitch, right? It was a glitch on TradingView. Apparently, there was a glitch that sent dominance, Bitcoin dominance, to zero. Like it happened really fast, and this apparently spooked traders and sell-off started, right? So it was a so-called knee-jerk reaction, meaning that there was an error in Bitcoin dominance data on TradingView, and this caused a FOMO, fear, and then people just started selling their Bitcoin, right? As you see here, it really caused a big sell-off, as we see here on this chart. And this was apparent market error. It caused Bitcoin to be liquidated, right? Those who were betting that the prices were going up got liquidated as usual. It's always the retailers that have to have a shorter end of the stick, unfortunately. And this caused price loss of around 4%, and it cooled off Bitcoin price that was actually around 100,000. So, like we said, it fell to 95 because a social media platform user noticed that TradeView Bitcoin dominance chart was claiming that it collapsed literally to zero. And this is a beautiful chart that you see here. It went all the way to zero, and this spooked the markets. And then, of course, sell-off happened, right? So one of the users really said something interesting here. So there was a TradingView glitch surrounding BTC dominance, and this caused people to panic sell, right? So people now dumping over TradingView, right? So this is just a reminder when we go back here to CoinMarketCap. It's a very emotional market right here. Fear and greed index, right? You see right here, fear and greed index. This is what the market is all about. It's very emotional, very sentiment driven. Anything can spook it, even if it's so minute, irrelevant, has no impact whatsoever. But it's enough to spook the industry because it's led by fear and greed and sentiments, right? And one thing leads to another, and it ends up always with liquidations, unfortunately. So that's basically what it was, right? And it has not recovered yet. So with that said, I'd like us to really kickstart today's topic the right way. Keep in mind, we're doing a review of 2024. We're doing a major review now of what we saw, what we experienced throughout 2024. And as we go through this article, we'll also cross-reference, verify statements that we read that come out of this article. As always, we don't like to take things for their face value. We always want to verify things, cross-reference. Never take things for their face value. And we also urge and encourage the community to always use these sessions as a point of reference. Go do your further research, verify, triple check. That's exactly what will keep us from things like this, right? People just having a knee-jerk reaction, people just being over-emotional, right? And just making decisions based on emotions and not on just solid information. And this is exactly the reason why, right? So let's kickstart. Crypto got everything it wanted in 2024. That's the headline, right? So that's really a tall order. That's a tall statement. But I believe we can all agree that looking at it generally on a broader way, we can say, yes, it was, especially for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin really got everything they wanted in 2024. Everything, literally. Let's closely go through it. So as always, like crypto was once a small sideshow, basically, for the investing public, right? We come a long way, even though the Bitcoin is 16 years old already. We still come a long way, and it's still the youngest asset class, right? So it used to be just a small niche asset class, and DC was not even the policymaker in Washington DC were not even taking us serious, right? It was a subject of ridicule for top Wall Street companies and figures as well, right? And all of this, of course, changed this year. 2024 was the year where so many things changed and so many things took off rapidly, mainly for Bitcoin, like we said, right? Primarily. Of course, others benefited as well. Let's be fair. But in terms of Bitcoin, they really got it all, right? Let's look at it. So digital assets such as Bitcoin, right? You can now own them and trade them by regular people, like a stock, right? You were not able to do this before. So some of the biggest, not only that, but some of the biggest players now on Wall Street are hailing Bitcoin to be the wisest investment, right? What a change from just a few years ago. And even the incoming administration in Washington promises even more regulations, right? Pro-crypto regulations, pro-crypto changes to support the industry even further, even more, right? On a general basis. So we really experienced crypto's widespread acceptance in 2024. Rapid acceptance, right? And this, of course, translated into major gains for those who are in for the long ride, right? So Bitcoin went up 126%, and also hit 100,000, right? And following, of course, this was all backed by the euphoria, right? Anticipating the election. It was following the election of Donald Trump. And the market even added $1.7 trillion, right, on market cap, based on market cap. And like we said, it's all lining up perfectly for the industry, for the crypto industry, right? It seems like everything is really perfectly lining up since the beginning of the year. And here we see it's a major milestone that was achieved on December 5th, as you see here, where Bitcoin hit 100,000 for the very first time, right? And this was a major milestone for the industry. And what we also want to highlight here is that one of the biggest Wall Street beneficiaries of all of this that we've been talking about is none other than BlackRock, right? And the CEO, Larry Fink. He used to be openly a proud skeptic of Bitcoin, but now he said that he studied it, learned about it, and he can now say, okay, he changed his opinion. 5 years ago, his opinion, he changed it, and now he said that he believes that Bitcoin is an asset class in itself, right? Not only that, but he also went ahead and recommended investors to put as much as 2% of their portfolio into Bitcoin. So we went from a proud critic to recommending investors to put 2% in their portfolios in Bitcoin, right? And now also he believes that Bitcoin is an asset class on its own, and it's an alternative to other commodities like gold, right? Now, this sentence is very important, community. This is where now it's we are about to experience a major change here now. Listen to what Larry Fink is saying here. He's saying that we believe Bitcoin is an asset class in itself, and it's an alternative to other commodities like gold, right? Now, the takeaway of this statement is that he's not talking about tokenization. He's not talking like Bitcoin is building infrastructure for collateral, tokenization, DeFi, stable coins, none of that, yield, nothing. It's just an alternative commodity like gold, period, right? That's it. So let's keep this in mind, because he's about to make a distinction here. There's a major distinction here. Okay, so now we know he's a big fan of Bitcoin. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? And he really makes sure that he's not talking about Bitcoin being a revolutionary technology of the century. He's not talking about Bitcoin being a Internet of Things where you can build, develop the next financial revolution on top of it. He's not mentioning that this is the cutting edge technology that we all have been waiting for, where you can have a bunch of smart contracts on it and develop all these DeFi infrastructures on it. None of that, right? It's a commodity like gold, period. And why did he change his mind? It's very straightforward. He's telling you that many who wanted to have Bitcoin allocations, but because there was no traditionally trusted, easy, efficient way to do that, they offered it, right? Simple as that. They offered it because there was no other trusted way. There was no other efficient, easy, meaning there was no liquid way. There was no legal way, because institutions can't purchase Bitcoin directly. But they can purchase ETFs. So that's the reason. So they saw an area where there is demand, and they offered it. That's what businesses do. You identify the need of your clients, and then you meet them. Simple as that, right? And why not? You're earning billions of dollars in management fees and in transactions. You might as well, right? Especially when your IBIT became the fastest growing ETF in history, even better, right? And it amassed so far 11 of them, 11 ETF issuers combined, amassed 100 billion in assets under management as of December 18. Imagine how much management fees and other fees that BlackRock has generated. And this became the fastest growing and the largest ETF in history within 11 months. So of course he's happy to do this. Of course he's offering this. It's very lucrative, right? So another thing that I want us to understand here is that right here. So as a candidate, Trump made a number of promises, right? And to the industry. He pledged the SEC to fire Gary Gensler. He resigned, so he's not going to be around anymore. So that's done, promise achieved. He also said that he will appoint a presidential advisory council. Tick, he did as well. Now, this one is a tricky one. He wants to establish a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile, right? So this is a challenge, especially with the help of Congress, because that's how the process works. You have to go through Congress, right? You first have to go through the House, and then through the Senate, and then the president has to approve it. That's the proper line of chain, right? So this is a challenge now. And just today, Japan, which is one of the largest economies, right? The third largest economy in the world. Let's tune in and see what they were saying, right? So in terms of Bitcoin reserve statement from Japan, right? This is the central bank of Japan. This is the government. Let's understand what they think of stockpile. So one of it's a hip now. Like, it's something that everybody is now doing, right? If you want to be re-elected, just mention Bitcoin and reserve strategy, and you'll be elected. Like, it seems that that's the word that every politician now it's using to be re-elected. However, so the Japanese government has taken cautious stance, right, in adding Bitcoin to its national reserves, citing concerns over volatility and legal incompatibility with existing foreign exchange frameworks. So that's what was cited. And they say it's volatile and it's it's not compatible, right, with the existing exchange frameworks. And what they also say, this was in response to the government responding to a senator in Japan. He was proposing and saying that, he mentioned that US and other countries are considering similar steps as well. And he was suggesting that the government should convert some of the Japanese foreign exchange reserves into cryptocurrency, into Bitcoin, right? Same thing that we just saw here. Trump is talking about and promised the crypto space and wants to do it, right? So Japan said that very openly, Bitcoin does not qualify as a foreign exchange. It does not qualify. And they're not even going to like beat around the bush. So, okay, no, it doesn't qualify. This is a bold statement. Let's not take this, just the headline alone, let's not take this at its face value. Why doesn't it qualify as a foreign exchange, as a medium of exchange? Let's look at what Monetary Authority of Singapore said. Well, they say the same thing. What a surprise. Cryptocurrencies have failed the test of digital money, right? Remember this article? Crypto has performed poorly as a medium of exchange. Exactly what Japan is saying. This is Singapore. This is Singapore, right? This is in Singapore. But the regulators in Japan are saying the same thing. It does not qualify as a medium of exchange, first of all. It doesn't qualify. And another thing is this. Stablecoins, not crypto, will be part of the financial ecosystem in the future, right? This, the managing director of Singapore's central bank said this, right, during a keynote. And then when you ask, well, why? Like, why is it not meeting? Why is it performing poorly as a medium of exchange or a store of value? Their prices are subject to sharp speculative swings. And, right, that's the biggest thing. And this happens if you don't have enough liquidity. We should know that by now, right? So let's go back and see what they're saying. They're saying the same thing. The government has said cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin do not qualify as foreign exchange. Yes, but why? Because if you prioritize liquidity, right, and volatility, and said volatility of cryptocurrencies did not align with Japan's reserve strategy. So volatility exists because there's not enough liquidity, and they prioritize liquidity. This is why they said Bitcoin does not qualify. So this is Japan's government, and this is Singapore's government, and they say the exactly same thing. Say the same thing. What's important is not market cap. What's important is liquidity, because liquidity addresses volatility. So if you have a liquid asset and it addresses the liquidity, right? And it doesn't align with their policy, right? And Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell last week, of course, also, and this spooked the market also. He said that the Feds are not allowed to own Bitcoin, right? However, Donald Trump, he still insists and wants to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and many others, right? So this is just from Japan. This is from Singapore, and they are saying the same thing. So this is in terms of Bitcoin stockpile, right? So let's move on further. And like we said, whether the president-elect will make the US government a Bitcoin holder or even buy remains a hot debate. So who knows? We are yet to see. But Jerome Powell himself said they can hold it. Like we watched in our last community event, remember we watched one of the appointed chairmen in the government also say that they are interested, but it doesn't see how that will work, right? So another thing that I want us to look at is this individual that was appointed, right? David Sachs. He's a venture capitalist, and he got the role of AI and crypto Caesar, right? These are one of the individuals that were appointed by Elon Musk. By Donald Trump, but they're related. They are very related with Elon Musk, right? As we'll see shortly. So through his venture firm, Sachs already has backed a number of crypto and AI firms. So this is an individual that is very well versed in the crypto space, and he's a venture capitalist. So what is a venture capitalist? We should ask ourselves, right? Let's find out what is a venture capitalist. A venture capitalist is someone who puts money into early stage businesses to help them grow, right? In sectors such as life science, IT, such as blockchain and fintech, right? So that's a venture capitalist. So meaning this is an individual that is plays a major role in Silicon Valley. He plays a major role in terms of early investing in major companies like we will see. And furthermore, let's dig deeper. Who is David Sachs, right? And that Trump picked to be the AI and crypto Caesar. So he's a tech investor, like we said, and he made his money through early bets on Uber and other startups. He built his reputation as a conservative provocateur, right? Whatever that means. And what I want us to highlight here is that he's a tech investor, obviously, and he built his reputation in a combative. He built his reputation doing that, like investing early, and he's a venture capitalist. So with his appointment at the White House, he suddenly finds himself near the center of political power, with an opportunity to shape policies key to Silicon Valley and himself. So not only is he benefiting Silicon Valley, but he's benefiting himself. Why does Silicon Valley come into the topic? Why are we discussing this? If we dig deeper, we'll understand why. So Sachs has long been close to the center of Silicon Valley power structure. So he's literally part of a member of the PayPal mafia, right? And he was that company's chief operating officer. He was PayPal's chief operating officer for several years. And he grew close with Elon Musk, who also happens to be tasked with a new role in the Trump administration. So it goes full circle. So Sachs and Elon Musk are part of the PayPal mafia. They were the original co-founders of PayPal. We are getting somewhere with this, right? And they're all deeply into Silicon Valley, and they're dominating. They're venture capitalists. They're investing into early stage companies, right? So this is a good thing. You have somebody that has been in the tech industry for decades, 20, 30 years, in the early stages of, like we'll see in the .com bubble. Let's go even further. Who really is this? So Kraft, this is his company, venture capital company, right? And as you see here, they are leaders in business-to-business software investing. They're investing in IT, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and so on and so forth, right? And AI as well. So they have a proven team. They have repeated success building and scaling software as a service businesses, right? And then they tell you all kinds of things that they're doing here. They're building great companies. They're part of it. They manage it as well. They've built many unicorns. Unicorns basically just means that a company that hit $1 billion. Any company that hits $1 billion is a unicorn, right? So you can imagine if in terms of crypto, basically they got in early and invested, were the first investors, and that project hit $1 billion. So you can imagine they're good, right? They are invested heavily. Now, if you look at the team here, this is David right now. This is him, right? And if you see here, He was involved in technology industry since 1999, right at the dot-com bubble, right? So he's seen it all. This is a veteran. He's very well experienced. And like we said here, he was in the early stages of Confinity. Back then, it was still called Confinity. Now it's known as PayPal, right? Why are we showing all of this? Why is this so important? Because ironically, during the dot-com bubble, he co-founded PayPal. During the housing crisis in 2008, he co-founded Yammer. So whenever there were crises, and even in 2020, during the pandemic, he started another company as well. So this is an individual that apparently is in the know. So whenever there is a crisis, he comes out on top, right? And now he has the power, right? And he's at the forefront of he can shape. He has the opportunity to shape policies for the Silicon Valley and himself. So not only does he own and is the head of a venture capital company, but now he is holding a very powerful position, right? Political power that gives him an opportunity to shape policies for the Silicon Valley, so for his friends and himself, right? So let's just keep that in mind. And just to really bring this home, bear with me. Let me share my screen here. Let me make sure that I share this with you. This literally just summarizes basically who this individual is. And let me know if you can hear the
Administration is poised to be a powerful ally for the crypto industry. President-elect Donald Trump spoke highly of cryptocurrencies on the campaign trail, and his cabinet picks reflect that. On 60 Minutes, Margaret Brennan spoke with the head of a crypto firm about the incoming administration.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Before this cycle, in June of 2021, Donald Trump was saying, Bitcoin seems like a scam. Do you understand what happened with that transformation?
I didn't have a front row seat to that. I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Last week, Trump named David Sachs as his White House AI and crypto czar. In a statement, Trump says Sachs will help guide policy on areas, quote, critical to the future of American competitiveness. McKenna Kelly joins me now. She's a senior politics reporter for Wired. McKenna, thank you for being here. What do you know about David Sachs and what will he be doing in this role?
David Sachs is a venture capitalist who has been investing in tech companies for decades at this point. And he does a lot of things. So he has basically become a media figure as well. He hosts the All In podcast where he talks about the economy and politics and whatever he wants to talk about with his VC buddies every week. And he also was one of the first folks who started PayPal. Colloquially, we call it the PayPal Mafia. So long time ago in the 90s, Sachs was working with Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, all of these folks that we've come to learn and have become huge players in politics today.
What is he going to be up against in this role? There are so many challenges, particularly with AI, but also crypto as it continues to grow and people continue to wonder what crypto is.
Sure. So I think the big thing that the crypto industry is looking for in a David Sachs crypto czar would be essentially the opposite of what the Biden administration has been doing. They want someone who will get in and understand. When I talk to people, they know that he understands the industry, they understand Silicon Valley, and he'll be able to guide regulation the direction that it should be going according to the crypto industry.
So has the reaction to his appointment or pick been relatively positive?
It's been really positive. Now, the crypto industry had a lot to be excited about last week. Bitcoin, of course, hit $100,000 valuation, and then they ended the week with David Sachs being appointed. They're very thrilled. At this point, I just see, everyone being looking to him and understanding that he is someone who will listen to them, already listens to them, and has already been in the industry working this before.
But he's only an advisor, right? So he can only recommend things. I mean, who does he recommend to, and who ultimately holds the power? Is it Congress?
Yeah, there's a lot that's still unclear about this role. David Sachs, of course, his Craft Ventures firm, folks from there said that he is doing this as a part-time job. He's not going to be doing it as a full-time job. He's still going to continue investing in companies. So he's not going to be talking to the president every day. But what they want from him, I guess, is, somebody who can be on the bully pulpit and be a positive voice for crypto, especially after 4 years of the Biden administration, where you have someone like SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who has sued a bunch of giant crypto firms, who has gone after them in a more aggressive way. And I think they're hoping to turn down the heat on that.
Interesting. McKenna Kelly, thank you. Of course. Good to have you here.
So, community, I just wanted you to have a listen and tune in about David, and just to have an idea of who he is and what position he's going to occupy. And like we had, he's not going to do this full time. He's going to stay with his existing venture capital company that he has, venture capital arm, obviously because monetary reasons as well. It's he earns way better. He earns way more as a venture capitalist, of course, than he would as an advisor, right? So you might ask yourself, well, Steve, that's all good and great, but what are you trying to say? Where are we heading with this? The reason why I'm heading this, where I'm heading with this is, here's an individual that, and let me show you this. I really like this picture of them. The only person that was missing here was Elon Musk himself. But you see here, this is him right here, right? David Sachs. So he is part of course, of the mafia. This is the mafia. This is the PayPal mafia, as they're called, right? These are the members of them. They're the ones who formed major companies, right? Such as YouTube, Palantir, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. And even Peter Thiel is here as well. He's the co-founder or founder of Palantir, which is a government contractor, right, as well. So this is the group, and they're literally running Silicon Valley. And now this same group of individuals, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, that is very close to Van, the vice president of Trump, and then now David Sachs himself. These are they're part of the PayPal mafia, and they've been around for a very long time. And like we say, David Sachs is actually running his own venture capital arm. And not only that, he is also given advisory power, political power, right, to shape the policies. So he can write policies that are great for Silicon Valley, his company, and of course himself, right? So you can imagine, and this is an individual that has been investing in early tech companies. Let's look at a few of them, right? Let's look at their portfolio. They have a large portfolio, and let's look at unicorn. So unicorns are any project that they invested in that went $1 billion and above, right? And we see familiar ones like Airbnb, House, Harbor. We also see Open Door, Intercom, Palantir. This is actually owned by, like I said, Peter Thiel, right? So you see how they're friends already. So they're heavily invested into their friends' projects as well. You see the contradiction here. You see the reason why he doesn't want to leave working with this company, right? Because he wants to be at the forefront of all of this, right? So we could go on and on. He invested in Zoom, Uber, SpaceX, X itself, and we all know X and SpaceX are all his friend Elon's, right? And what are we trying to say here? What we're trying to say here is also what we saw earlier here, is that this is an individual, if we go back to his profile, that during every crisis, he's been really cashing in a lot. During the dot-com bubble, he founded PayPal. During the housing crisis, he founded Yammer. And during the pandemic, he founded a software company, software as a service company, right? So obviously, he's this is an individual that is very, very well connected, very well connected. He's at the pulse. So, and he focuses on the technology, on the blockchain part of all of this, right? So we're heading somewhere with this. Now let's go back to here, and everything will start to make sense. Now that we understand who David Sacks is, his position, his venture capital, his company that he has, the big connection he has with the PayPal Mafia group, he knows his best friend, his friends, close friends are Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, right? He's well connected in Silicon Valley, and now he's appointed this major position, right? Okay. If we continue here, what we want to also understand here is people are shocked by all of this, right? Because we never had like the most pro cryptocurrencies in history. This is a big deal, right? And people are really shocked because it's new for this industry, and they're now influencing Washington directly, like we just saw, literally, right? And this is now the interesting thing. So the pro-crypto legislation that would offer clear regulations of what stablecoins, right, and broader crypto markets, even give big banks a better route to interact with digital assets. Now, this is very interesting here. There's two things we need to understand. We have an individual that has been around since the dot-com bubble, rode the waves of housing bubble, even through pandemic. Here we are now. He's a venture capitalist. He's well informed, in regards to technology, how to invest in early tech companies. And here we are now, talking about legislation will be giving us clearer regulation on stablecoins and also giving big banks a better route to interact with digital assets. So obviously this is going to be the priority, stablecoins and broader crypto markets to give banks a better opportunity to interact with digital assets. Let's stick to stablecoins, right? Let's stick to stablecoins. We already read here how, right here, stablecoins, not cryptocurrencies, right, will be part of the financial ecosystem in the future. We've read this article multiple times, right? And before we get too deep into this, let's understand one thing. Where are the most stable coins? They are on Ethereum, right? And this is why this just shows you or gives you a hint where this shift is going. And where is DeFi, right? DeFi is literally meeting traditional financial finance industry, right? So DeFi and traditional finance are literally coming together and this is exactly who's benefiting from it. Like we were talking about how the biggest beneficiary of all of this, like we said at the very beginning, is BlackRock, right? BlackRock has been the biggest beneficiary so far in terms of ETFs. Look how much input assets that it added. It's grown the fastest growing ETF in history. He's making all these billions of dollars in revenue, management fees, and all of that. So all of this comes together. So now that we understand this, all of this that we've discussed so far, let's look at what's meant with stablecoin, right? Let's look at what BlackRock is all about. So BlackRock, like we said, they understand that if it comes to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a commodity, something like gold. That's it. You can't lend, borrow, trade, exchange, stake. You can't do any of that. You can't build a financial industry on it, right? But their aim is to use these ETFs and tokenize them and provide derivatives, provide collateral for the derivatives markets, right? With their BUIDL as collateral. We've discussed this before. And the only takeaway I want us to look at here is that they are into DeFi, decentralized finance. This is the most important thing here. So they report that the world's largest asset manager moving deeper into crypto. And crypto native company also, they want to combine through their trust. They want to use their trusted infrastructure and all of that, the trusted CEO Larry Fink, to get into DeFi. How are they doing that? So moreover, decentralized finance protocols are already considering using BUIDL, right? Tokenized shares in financial instruments. Who is using it? Like we said, Aave, the largest lending company right now, application on Ethereum. And also for their stablecoin Go, they also want to use BlackRock's tokenized fund for that. Not only them, but also Athena, they're also using BUIDL, right, to back their new stablecoin. So why is all of this so important? Is because when users swap USDC for Go, you get USDC for BUIDL, right? And what they're trying to do is they want specific yields. They want to provide yield. All of this is because of yield. So obviously the rise of stablecoins is what's the appealing. Rise of stablecoin is the most appealing part of all of this, right? But let's look at why is stablecoin so appealing? Why is it so important? And to answer this, this is part of the challenges. This is the reason why Japan said Bitcoin does not qualify, right? They don't qualify because they lack liquidity and it's too volatile, right? And also, it does not align with the reserve strategy. What is their reserve strategy? Their reserve strategy is to is designed to stabilize. How can you stabilize if you're volatile, right? So you have to, they're here to stabilize their foreign currency assets and the bond market. This is important to understand. The reason why stablecoins are in such high demand. They're not just liquid and they're not volatile, but they also stabilize their fiat currency. Specifically, in our case, the US global reserve currency, it stabilizes the US dollar, right? So this is what central banks are supposed to do. This is the Fed's assignment. They're supposed to do that, right? Bring stability and strengthen the bond markets. So this is now will make sense. So the rise of stablecoins, right? So according to Coinbase, the stablecoin market settled more than close to 11 trillion, 10.8 trillion in 2023, last year. Just to put it in perspective for us to have an understanding how big this is, and this figure obviously keeps growing by 17%. But just to understand how large this is, 8.4 trillion transactions were made through Bitcoin network, right? However, only 2%, actually less than 2% of Bitcoin transactions were used for commerce, meaning for payments. So these transactions were basically just transferring from cold wallet to Coinbase, Coinbase to cold wallet, just going from Coinbase to cold wallet, Coinbase to coin wallet, majority, or whatever centralized exchange there was, from cold wallet to a centralized exchange. It was just transfers. Less than 2% were used as real transactions, like it's used here with stablecoins to settle payments, right? But even more interesting is this. More interesting is the payment estimates from Visa. This is very interesting. suggests that $2.5 trillion worth of stablecoin payments was settled in 12 months, in the 12 months up to June, right? So June, 12 months back, $2.5 trillion in stablecoins. And look at the growth. This is 10x more than 4 years ago. 10x just within 4 years, 10 times more transactions. To put it in perspective, for us to have a understanding how large this actually is that stablecoins payments have overtaken payments made via PayPal, which is 1.5 trillion in 2023. So in the shortest period of time, stablecoins already outpaced PayPal, which is like we say, they were developed back in the 90s during the dot-com bubble, 1999. So over a 25-year-old company. Stablecoins which are way younger, right? They're not as old. They're not 25 years old, but they already outpaced PayPal by over $1 trillion. And they're even gaining ground on MasterCard right now, which is currently at 9 trillion. Why are we talking about this? Because central banks, governments, feds, their aim is they want an asset that will stabilize their currency and stabilize the bond market. What is the bond market? Debt market. Do we now see why BlackRock is so keen on using collateral, their BUIDL as collateral? They are strengthening the bond market. They are strengthening the dollar and the bond market and the debt market. They're doing exactly what the government of Japan is saying. This is why Bitcoin does not qualify for an exchange. We can't put Bitcoin in our reserves because our aim is to stabilize our asset and the bond markets. We need liquid assets that are not volatile, right? And cryptocurrencies are just not aligning with the Japan's reserve strategy because of this lack of liquidity. Does that sound familiar? That comes with volatility. If you don't have liquidity, you're volatile. And you can't stabilize an asset if you're volatile and if you lack liquidity. And you can't strengthen the bond market. So there's of no use. If you have an asset that is illiquid, volatile, and doesn't strengthen the fiat, the local fiat, neither the local fiat nor the bond market. So what use does it have, right? And this is why Japan declined. And this is why BlackRock is coming in. And you'll realize that they're here to solve certain challenges. And we'll get to that shortly. The takeaway here is that stablecoins are already taken over major traditional institutions. This is big. And over now, even MasterCards now. MasterCards is the second largest payment processor. It's been around for decades. And here we are, we have a very young stablecoin industry that is barely at 170 billion market cap, which is still to grow so much more, especially with BUIDL, like we're about to see. So while major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin dominate the headlines, stablecoins have surpassed all others in usage, right? So when you hear about Bitcoin in the headlines, it's always about its price going up, how it hit a new all-time high, or how BlackRock's clients are purchasing all these ETFs. But you never hear about DeFi. You never hear about what really matters. You never hear about the technology, about building on top of it, DeFi, lending, borrowing, using things as collateral, earning yield, all of these things. You don't hear nothing about that. It's always about its price going up and clients of BlackRock just purchasing a bunch of it. That's it, right? So it's never about the technology, about the fundamentals, and about DeFi, lending, borrowing, yield, none of that, right? And even Larry Fink himself said it's just a commodity, right? That compared to gold. It's not the Internet of Things where you can build applications on top of it, right? So now that we've discussed this, let's now look at even the big banks. Why is it so important for big banks to get a break? Let's go to the next article. And here is where it really gets interesting. If we read the topic here, OKX is our second largest US exchange, right? And they're investing in what? Decentralized stablecoin, right? Issuer usual. Why are they doing that? Because they want to enhance DeFi, right? And another thing that I want us to understand here is that they are into DeFi because stablecoins and real world assets. So these are the major things that they want to focus on: decentralized stablecoins, and real world assets. Keep in mind why Japan rejected Bitcoin. It's because they are not focusing on stabilizing their local currency and the bond markets, right? This is why stablecoins are so in high demand. And this article really paints a clear picture. And if you bear with me. So why are stablecoins issuance? So why are they so interesting? It's because what? They're tokenized US bonds. What a surprise. They're US bonds. So they're tokenized form of US debt. So naturally, what Japan was saying is literally what the US too and every other Fed or government is interested in. You have to stabilize your local currency. How do you do that? You have to strengthen the debt markets, the bond market. And this is exactly what's happening. This is why you see all these institutions and regulations need to be more clearer, so even banks and institutions can now invest in bonds, because this is what the regulators want. If you're contributing towards stabilizing the local currency and stabilizing the bonds, the bond market, the debt market, you're actually part of the solution. You're strengthening the debt crisis that is happening. And Bitcoin can't solve that, right? It can't solve it. It's not liquid. It's too volatile, and it's not focusing on prioritizing and stabilizing the bond market, right? These are not my words. I'm just a messenger. I'm just reading the articles, what the articles are saying, right? So another thing that we need to understand here is that the difference between these BUIDL or the usual is one thing. Remember, one of our 4 challenges is efficient, sustainable staking distributions, right? So the difference between USDT and USDC is that BUIDL and usual, what they do is they have something known as wealth distribution for the community, right? The community literally has ownership, and they're sharing the yields that they're getting, right? And if we go down here, it's really interesting here. First of all, they want a real-world asset directly into DeFi protocols. So they're using tokenized bonds, and they're putting it straight into DeFi protocols as collateral. And it's ironically, it's not a coincidence that tokenized T-bills using it as collateral, right? And they partnered with the leading financial entities such as BlackRock. Why is BlackRock? Everywhere where you see DeFi, you see BlackRock. Everywhere you see collateral, you see BlackRock, right? So they aligned themselves with prominent DeFi platforms, including Curve, Pendle, Morpho, ETHFi, and so on and so forth. Why are they doing this, community? And this is the most important part. They want to expand its what? This is not me. I haven't mentioned this word on my own today. So liquidity. They want to expand liquidity in DeFi platforms. So liquidity strategies on DeFi platforms. What's next? and what else? Yield optimization. So they want liquidity and yield. They want to ensure that DeFi, one of the 4 challenges in the space is lack of liquidity. Does that sound familiar? That's something that we as an ecosystem are addressing, right? And this is exactly what BUIDL, which BlackRock, are achieving through the T-bills, tokenized T-bills that they're using and putting it into collateral to secure partnerships with leading financial entities like BlackRock. So here we are again. The reason why Japan refused Bitcoin reserves is because it doesn't meet their standard. What is their standard? The standard is they want an asset in the reserve that can stabilize their local currency and that strengthens the bond markets. Right now, as we speak, the only cryptocurrency that does that and does that with style is our stablecoins, right? And the reason why they're dominating is simple, because they're liquid and they issue yield. Usual and BUIDL does that, right? It's as simple as that. So the takeaway here is that if you focus on liquidity, retaining it, and if you have sustainable staking distributions, these 2 alone puts you at a very favorable platform, DeFi platform. So if you're a DeFi platform that retains liquidity, focuses on liquidity, and has liquidity strategies to retain it, and you offer yield, boom, you're good. This is the whole point of usual. They're a stablecoin that is used in DeFi. They're using T-bills as collateral, and they partner with BlackRock. And we read here, we see how BlackRock, their whole idea is derivatives market. They want to back it with BUIDL as collateral for the derivatives market, which is a $1 quadrillion market. So we see these things going over and over and over again, right? And we clearly see why liquidity is so important and why having liquidity strategies is so important, and having efficient, sustainable yield strategies are important, because this is exactly the point. You're supposed to lend, borrow, stake, give sufficient yield, sustainable yield, provide liquidity, bring stability, and support the bond market. Support it. How can you support it? You need a very liquid asset that is at least deflationary. And if it's deflationary and liquid, it won't be volatile. And it's supposed to stabilize your current fiat currency and the bond market. And Bitcoin just does not qualify for that. These are not my words, right? These are not me. So for all the Bitcoin bros and Bitcoin sis, don't come to me. This is a statement from Japan, right? I'm just reading an article that came out today. So now that we've discussed that, obviously DeFi plays a major role. The takeaway is that DeFi plays a major role. What is DeFi? Tokenized assets that are liquid, that bring stability, remove volatility, and that focuses on sustainable yield, and that efficiently are using their volume, right? And DeFi is the future. So I want us to look at this article here. DeFi, what is DeFi, right? Decentralized finance, what is it? It's a global open alternative to the current financial system. This alone just shows you how far we are from it. It should be an alternative to the current financial system. It shouldn't be using the current financial system. It should be an alternative. So the difference here is that, and I hope you saw which website this is. This is ethereum.org. This is the Ethereum homepage right now. And they're literally explaining what DeFi is. It's an alternative to the current financial system. This is why you see BlackRock and all of them coming to Ethereum, right? Because they want an alternative for what they have. That's the difference between Ethereum. Institutions are coming to Ethereum because they want an alternative. In contrary, Bitcoin has to leave the blockchain and go to the traditional market for it to work, right? That's a bold statement, Steve, but don't take my word for it. We'll verify it right here on this website. Products that let you borrow, save, invest, trade, and more. Smart contracts, right? Based on open source technology that anyone can program with, right? So DeFi is an open and global financial system built on the age of internet, like we know. It's a blockchain technology. It's an alternative to a system that's tightly controlled and held together by decades-old infrastructure and processes. Does this sound familiar? Decades-old infrastructure and processes. Remember that? Do you remember this? How it says it's decades old? Word for word, this is World Economic Forum, and this is Ethereum.org. So decades old infrastructure processes, right? It's like a copy paste from Ethereum website to World Economic Forum website. It's telling you the same thing. It's literally telling you that distributed ledger technology can bring our capital markets into the 21st century by streamlining and automating manual and time-consuming processes, right? And it tells you here that financial infrastructure operates in much the same way it has for decades, relying on the same message-based systems in 1970s, right? So it literally telling you that this is an old infrastructure. These are old tools that are being used. And this is a copy paste literally from Ethereum, telling you that we don't have to use decades old infrastructure processes anymore, right? This is the solution that Ethereum brings you. And World Economic Forum is also telling you that we need a financial infrastructure that operates in in a new way, right? Not in one that has been for decades, relying on technology from the 1970s, right? But let's go even further. So if we go even further, we see here DeFi products open up financial services to anyone with an internet connection, right? They're largely owned and maintained by their users. This is another thing. In DeFi, it's not owned by a central entity. It's owned by and maintained by the users. This was our last community events topic. We discussed this. We were talking about how two things are lacking, right? The community, the users that are informed and educated, remember? And then they need a platform as well to make DeFi work. This is just confirming our whole session in our last community event, right? It should be owned and maintained by the users. So if the platform is owned and maintained by the users, those two things, we don't have that yet. And if you have that, you'll make DeFi work. And this is what Ethereum is doing or working on doing to achieve, to have users that are informed, educated, and are using a platform that is addressing these four challenges to make DeFi work. So one thing I want us to look at here further is DeFi is a collective term, financial products and services that are accessible to anyone that can use Ethereum. So anyone with an internet connection. With DeFi, the markets are always open and there are no centralized authorities who can block payments or deny you access to anything, right? Services that were previously slow and at risk for human error are automatic and safer now. So keep this in mind. Services that were previously slow and at risk of human error are automatic and safer now. This is Ethereum website. Let's go to World Economic Forum. distributed ledger technology, you could call it Ethereum, right, can bring our capital markets infrastructure into 21st century by what? Streamlining and automating manual and time-consuming processes. Literally, exactly word for word is telling you this, right? Human error are automated now and safer. World Economic Forums tells you we can streamline it and automate manual and time-consuming processes. So you can obviously see that Ethereum Foundation and World Economic Forum are closely working together, right? They're obviously working closely together because they're always very much focusing on tokenization, tokenized assets, right? And also, what I want us to understand here is that it's always about the funds, the money. Trillions of dollars are at stake here, right? And this is very, very, very important. So what I want us to understand here, community, is that what they said here, Ethereum is the DeFi leader, right? Ethereum is more than just cryptocurrency. That's the bottom line. It is the backbone of decentralized finance. It is the backbone of decentralized finance. And why am I saying that? Because there's a booming crypto economy out there where you can lend, borrow, earn interest and more, right? And that's DeFi. So one thing I want us to look at here is this. One of the best ways to see potential of DeFi is to understand the problems that exist. Does this sound familiar? This is exactly what our community events are always for. We always want to, how can you appreciate something or see the potential of DeFi if you don't even understand the problem that exists, right? You need, first of all, understand what are the problems so that you can appreciate and see the potential of DeFi. So what are these potential, what are the challenges? What are the problems? So some people can't access bank accounts, they can't use financial services, right? And financial services can lock you from getting paid or hidden charges, blah, blah, blah. Trading hours are often limited to business hours, specific time zones. Money transfers can take days due to internal human processes, and so on and so forth. But what I want us to take away here is that in DeFi, you hold your own money. Does that sound familiar? You own your own money. That's DeFi. But in traditional finance, your money is held by companies. Like with the ETFs, you don't own the Bitcoin. So all these individuals jumping around for joy, they don't hold the assets. It's JP Morgan that holds the real Bitcoin for them, right? So every day showing how in the billions of dollars are being purchased ETF, this right here. In DeFi, they would have been holding their own money, but with the traditional institutions, they don't. It's JP Morgan that holds them. So you control where your money goes and how it's spent. You have to trust companies in traditional finance not to mismanage your money, like lending to risky borrowers, right? And one thing that I really, really like here is that you see how payments can take days due to manual processes? Again, it can take days due to manual processes. And here you have, it's telling you how things are automatic, right? Technologies unlock the automatic network connectivity of blockchain. So it's all about connectivity, it's all about automation, and it's all about retaining liquidity, addressing the infrastructure that is so old that still operates in the 1970s. And the only way to build this is to use the distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology, and build an infrastructure that is up to date to our 21st century. And how does it do that? Streamlining and automating manual and time-consuming processes, just like it says it right here, right? Just like it said it right here. Right here. Payments can take days due to manual processes. So another thing that I want us to see here is that it started with Bitcoin, right? It all started with Bitcoin. And Ethereum, however, builds on this. It builds on it. So Bitcoin, in many ways, was the first DeFi application. However, Bitcoin lets you rely on but Bitcoin lets you really own and control value and send it everywhere around the world, right? It does this by providing a way for a large number of people who don't trust each other to agree on ledger accounts and so on and so forth. But Ethereum builds on this. Like Bitcoin, the rules can't change on you, right? On everyone that has access to it. But this is the difference. It also makes this digital money programmable using smart contracts. So you can go beyond just storing and sending value, right? So smart contracts allow you to do more than what you can do with Bitcoin right now, which is just storing and sending value. You can do so much more with it. You can program your money, right? And this is the biggest difference. So now you have a mixture of a Bitcoin mixed with service that are provided by financial institutions, which is what? Lending, borrowing, staking, all of that. So in addition to the security, you also have control over services that are financial institutions are provided. So this lets you do things with cryptocurrencies that you can't do with Bitcoin. Like what? Like lending, borrowing, scheduling payments, investing in index funds, and more. So all these index funds, all these ETFs that are being purchased in the hundreds of billions, guess where they're going to be traded? Right here on Ethereum. All these index funds are going to be used as collateral. Where? On Ethereum. They're going to be used as liquidity on Ethereum. So this is what many still don't understand. This is what DeFi is all about. And we see so many similarities here that at the end of the day, infrastructures are going to be built. We see parallels between what's written here on Ethereum website and on World Economic Forum, right? They're talking about tokenization. What are they tokenizing? Securities, funds, and bonds. What are funds? Funds are ETFs. They're tokenizing funds, which are ETFs, and bonds. This is why BUIDL is here, right? And who is the leader? DeFi. Of DeFi is Ethereum, right? Ethereum is not just your cryptocurrency, like we said, that you can just trade, transfer, and store. Like we saw here, you can do way more than that, right? It tells you here. This lets you do things with cryptocurrencies that you can't do with Bitcoin, like lending, borrowing, scheduling payments, investing in index, all of this. That's what DeFi is about. But you can't do that with Bitcoin. And this is why it's the backbone of decentralized finance. Ethereum is. While Bitcoin makes headlines with its price volatility, right? Like we said, each time price of Bitcoin hits all-time highs, it gets people so excited. But they don't talk about the fundamentals, right? So Ethereum's utility keeps it high in high demand, right? People don't just want to see price going up. People want to lend, borrow, trade, and yield, right? People want to have all of that. And from powering DeFi protocols to enabling NFT marketplaces, Ethereum's ecosystem is unmatched, right? And this December, Ethereum continues to dominate DeFi, accounting for the majority of total value locked, which is liquidity, across all blockchain networks. It's dominating. It has over 70% of liquidity on Ethereum. So Ethereum is an inevitable choice for anyone considering investing in the tech giant, right? This is exactly the point that we wanted to come to. If you want to invest in tech, you have to choose Ethereum. Now, This brings us all the way back. Who did Trump just elect? Who did Trump just elect? This individual called David Sachs. Who we learned about him. He is the center of Silicon Valley. He is a member of the PayPal mafia. He is friends with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. He is the co-founder of PayPal. He invests in technology. That's what he does for a living. Here he is. This is his venture capital company. He invests in technology for a living. That's what he does for a living. And in this article here, in this video here, we just heard that he's not quitting his job. He still runs his venture capital arm as he's the advisor and writing policies. This individual is writing policies. Where is it? He's at the political center and is shaping policies for Silicon Valley and himself. And if you want to dominate DeFi and invest into technology, you have to invest in Ethereum. So what do you think, what type of policies is Sachs going to craft? What do you really think? Favorable, DeFi favorable, obviously, favorable in DeFi, because this is what Ethereum is all about. And this is also, which is smart contracts. Let's read it here. Using smart contracts, so you can go beyond storing and sending value. This is what Bitcoin does for you. You can send and store value. But if you use smart contracts, you can do more than this. This is Ethereum website. If we go to, if we go right here to World Economic Forum, the business case for tokenization. What is the business case for tokenization? First sentence here, smart contracts and automated processes. Smart contracts, automated processes. Let's go back to Ethereum website. It started with Ethereum. However, if you use smart contracts, a smart contract is a program that automatically executes agreements on a blockchain, right? Like a self-enforcing digital contract. That's what smart contracts do. And this is what World Economic Forum is all about. The business case is based on smart contracts and automated processes. So obviously they're telling you, and here's an article tells you Ethereum is dominating and they're the leader of DeFi. And if you want to invest, considering investing in the tech giant, and the tech giant is Ethereum, you need to invest in Ethereum. And now the appointed chairman is a tech guru. He's from the members of the PayPal. So obviously he's going to favor DeFi heavily. He's going to favor Ethereum heavily. He's going to favor stablecoin regulations favorably. And he's also going to favor real world assets favorably as well, because that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This is what it comes down to. You want to tokenize everything, use them as the derivative for the derivatives market and use them as collateral. Done. And you can't do this with Bitcoin. This is why Japan said, if it's not beneficial, if it's not stabilizing our currency and empowering the bond markets, why should we have it? If it's not liquid, why should we have it? It just does not align with Japan's reserve strategy. It just doesn't, right? And this is the whole idea. And this is why you see this is the most amazing outcome that it can come. Remember this Amazon Ethereum.org. Everything we read was from Ethereum.org. They're talking about infrastructures, talking about liquidity, talking about tokenization, DeFi, collateral, derivatives market, and so on and so forth. And this is exactly why Amazon purchased a blockchain-related domain name, Amazon Ethereum.org, right? And because they're the number one in cloud computing, like we've been discussing. So community, what are we saying as we wrap up this year? As we are wrapping up this year, community, we started this year with 2024 in January, we started with the ETFs, right? ETFs, Bitcoin has been on the front page ever since January. And it's enabling all these new individuals to purchase ETFs and all Wall Street and all of this. And as they are purchasing all of these ETFs in Bitcoin ETFs, they are at the same time sucking all the liquidity out or keeping the liquidity away from Bitcoin and bringing it over to Ethereum. They are bringing it all over to Ethereum. That's what's happening, right? And this is exactly the point, is that because you can't do any of what you can do in DeFi with blockchain, with Bitcoin, but you can do it with smart contracts. And this is what World Economic Forum is all about, smart contracts and automation of processes. And they want to enable that you can trade 24/7 market operations, and they will require a new infrastructural backbone. They require new infrastructural backbone. Again, let's go. This is World Economic Forum. Word for word, Ethereum is the DeFi leader. It's not just a cryptocurrency. It is the backbone of decentralized finance. Backbone. If you go to World Economic Forum, same word, backbone. So these individuals are working together with Ethereum, obviously. They understand that Ethereum is the backbone of DeFi. And this is the World Economic Forum website community. And they're using word for word, the same words. They require new infrastructural backbone. And Ethereum is just that. It is the backbone of DeFi. This is how we want to end 2024, understanding that Ethereum has not been getting the limelight in 2024. It's been lagging, and but in the background, a lot has been happening. Now we have an individual that is heavily invested in, not just heavily invested in tech, but has its own private and is the partner of and the owner of a venture capitalist arm. We know what venture capitalists do. They put money into early stage businesses to help them grow. This is how they make money in life sciences, IT, and fintech, right? Artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, and all of that. They believe in the technology, not in just a single commodity. They invest in companies, in technologies that you can build on top. And this is the individual that runs an entire venture capitalist arm. And he is the individual that is literally running or will be writing the policies that obviously will be favorable, not just for Silicon Valley and himself, but of course favorable for Ethereum as well. And he'll be hands-on using his position to finance these institutions and these tech companies that are being deployed and deployed on top of using smart contracts, right? And that is the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's using smart contracts. And this allows you to go beyond just storing and sending value, right? That's the difference. So community, this is the session for today. It was a prolonged session today. We want to just take advantage of the last community event today in 2024. And we just wanted to go back and highlight what we went through this year. And what awaits us in 2025 is a huge move. DeFi is going to take charge. And this is what individuals want. This is what it's all about. And this is even what BlackRock wants, BlackRock gets. They want to use their BUIDL as collateral. And they want to use it for the derivatives market. And we saw two authorities here. This is Singapore. This is the Singapore authority. They're saying that the reason why cryptos perform poorly as medium of exchange and store of value is because they lack liquidity, right? And this is the same reason why Japan rejected Bitcoin to have a Bitcoin reserve, because it doesn't align to the agenda. Again, the agenda is to stabilize their current fiat currency. How are they doing that? By strengthening the bond markets. And this is exactly what stablecoins are doing, right? Stablecoins do that. And this is why you see BlackRock focusing so much on using BUIDL as their as collateral, and to purchase and keep purchasing more and more US debt. That's the whole reason, right? That's the whole reason. And this is why you see them into DeFi. They're heavily into DeFi. And this is exactly what they focus on and they want to do. So community, this is it. Like we saw here, this is all we need to understand for today. And Ethereum is an inevitable choice for anyone considering investing in tech, right? In technology. And David Sachs is a venture capitalist, and he is the one that will be writing policies that are favorable towards DeFi, Ethereum, stablecoins, real-world assets. Where do you find all of that? It's on Ethereum. Stablecoins on Ethereum, real-world assets, Ethereum, liquidity, Ethereum, developers, Ethereum. So it's follow where the money is. And BlackRock is already leading the charge. They already have their liquidity fund already is with them, right? They already have the liquidity fund with them. You see BlackRock, where did they launch their tokenized fund, BUIDL? On Ethereum, right? This is exactly where they launched it. And why did they launch it? They're solving challenges. These are not my words. We are focused on developing solutions. These are not my words. This is Securitized. They are the partners with BlackRock, and they developed BUIDL. They are saying we are focused on developing solutions. Does that sound familiar? If you focus on solutions, first of all, identify challenges and then solve solutions in the digital asset space that help solve real problems for our clients, right? And what are those challenges? Liquidity. The fund tells you right in front of our faces, it's liquidity. What else? Earning yield. That's it. Liquid asset that gives you a yield. What else is that? Ethereum is just that. It's an asset that is liquid and that you can earn yield on it. So just like the dollar, digital dollar is addressing the challenges that Japan is saying needs to be addressed, Ethereum does exactly the same thing. It is liquid and you can earn yield, and it can subsidize the yields, the staking rewards from Ethereum can subsidize the bond market and regulate the debt, the US debt. So you see that, if anything, Ethereum is a way better option as a reserve currency than Bitcoin is. It's the future where you can build finance on top. And obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum Foundation, and the World Economic Forum are obviously working closely together, because you see a lot of copy pasting similar words. You see them right here, especially how they require infrastructural backbone. And then you see here that using the exact same words, telling you that Ethereum is not just a cryptocurrency, it is the backbone of decentralized finance. So they copy a lot of words from the Ethereum Foundation, bring it over to themselves. With that said, community, I always want us to close out in our ecosystem and show you how we are solving those challenges as well. We're addressing 4 challenges in this space. And just like BlackRock told you here, I securitize. You have to. We are here and focused to developing solutions in the digital asset space that help solve problems for our clients. They're focusing on their community, and they're focusing on developing solutions to the problems that they face. This is what you should be doing. Your ecosystem is supposed to do this. So ask yourself, what problems, what challenges is your ecosystem solving? Why let BlackRock and them solve challenges, and we in the DeFi space, why aren't we solving challenges, right? This is why we solve the liquidity challenge, lack of liquidity, right? Retain it. Why are we doing that? Because like they said, you need to address and have liquidity strategies. If you don't have liquidity strategies, what are you doing? And then you need to have sustainable yield as well. So have liquidity strategies. Boom, here we have it. Not just by taxes, but we also have 10% put aside for staking and buybacks. And then we have NFT, staking NFT boosters. And these boosters boost your staking distributions. And also, this enables Bullrun to build and sustain a healthy liquidity because the revenues generated from them are going right back to the liquidity pool as well. So we have different liquidity strategies, and this is not us saying it. This is even securitized saying. These are institutions that are talking about these things, right? And if it's good enough for securitized, it's definitely good enough for us as well, right? So this is why it's very important that we understand all of this. We need to understand this, and if it's not addressing the asset and strengthening the bond markets, and it's not liquid, they don't want it, right? So this is why we retain liquidity. We have different liquidity strategies. We are not deflationary. We are scarce. That's a big difference. At least you have to be deflationary, like Ethereum. The more transactions Ethereum has, it becomes deflationary, right? However, this is scarcity, meaning the supply shrinks. We started with 1 million in supply, as you can see. And now, if you look at here, we are now down to 965,000. So close to 35,000 BRL tokens are gone for good. The supply is shrinking. That's what means scarcity. That's what scarcity means. Your supply is shrinking, right? That's what scarcity really, really means. So we are addressing inflation as well by implementing scarcity, right? So besides retaining liquidity strategies, we also, our supply shrinks. It's literally scarce. And then we have sustainable staking distributions. And this comes through the volume, right? Efficiently using our volume. That's exactly what it's about, community. This is what all of this is about. So like we say, Ethereum is more than just a cryptocurrency. It's the backbone of DeFi. And we have an individual that is heavily invested into tech companies, and is not only invested in tech companies, but is a member of the PayPal mafia. He is very close friends with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, which are all part of the PayPal mafia, right? Like we saw the group right here. So we'll experience favorable regulations, favorable towards real-world assets, stablecoins, and DeFi in general. And this will boost none other than Ethereum, right? This year, Bitcoin got everything they wanted, from ETFs to all of this. And all those bonds and ETFs are going to be traded on Ethereum, ironically, right? All of that is going to hit Ethereum. This is the reason why BlackRock is into DeFi, and this is why this is the end game. This is what they want to do at the end of the day, right? So this is it for today, community. That's it on our side. Let me share the screen again and start reading your comments and see whether you have any questions, any feedbacks, anything you want to add. Bear with me as I'm sharing my screen. All right, community. Let's go to your comments. Yeah, Queen Val says, hello, bull runners. Happy last Thursday of the month. It has been a wonderful year of consistency and value. Thanks to you, Mr. Steve. Can't wait to start 2025 in a bullish way. Beautifully said, Queen Val. Thank you so much for your feedback. Very, very much appreciated. And yes, this is our last YouTube community event for 2024. The next time it will be January 2nd. It will be in the new year. And yes, we're really looking forward to the 2025. It's literally going to be a bullish way. Just like we saw, Mr. Sachs is a venture capitalist. He runs a venture capitalist capital company. He's well connected in Silicon Valley. He's friends with Elon Musk, which runs Doge, government of deficiency, and also with Peter Thiel, who is also a government contractor with Palantir. And we can only look forward to a beautiful 2025 that is coming with clear regulations on stablecoin, real-world assets, and DeFi as well. And all of this takes place, like we said, on Ethereum. So Ethereum is going to be favored in 2025. It's going to be a more attractive asset as well, especially once they clear and approve US Ethereum staking ETFs, right? That will be a game changer as well. To all the new members, do not miss out on these good, you can join the community. We have Killer Whale, Bullrun, and Survivor. So feel free to join the groups. Thank you very much, Queen Val, for doing that. The links are provided here. So if you're not part of the community yet, feel free to do so. As you see, we are very active. We are a very active community. We do 4 or 5 community events a week. And we have daily Zoom sessions as well that are open every single day. And we lay a lot of emphasis on education. And we described the reason why in our last community event is because we lack a community that is highly informed, educated, and inspired, partnered with a platform that is also addressing the 4 challenges in the space, right? Like we discussed today. And this combined, this is what we're all about, community. We are a very informed and educated community that come together on a weekly basis, daily basis, and are working on a platform that is addressing the challenges in the space, right? And this is key. So if you want to be part of this movement, feel free to join the links below that Queen Val has provided. Thank you for that, Queen Val. Queen Patricia says, good evening, family. We are here a year later, feeding from the trough of knowledge from our developer, Mr. Steve. Thank you again, Mr. Steve, for your commitment. Stay blessed and protected always. Thank you so much, Queen Patricia, for always participating, being consistent regularly, always participating in these community events. It goes a long way. Thank you for your feedback, and may you also remain protected and blessed as we close out on this year and we approach 2025 and beyond. Queen Gloria says, my family, my pride, my community of BRL ecosystem, our eye-opener. Thanks, Brother Steve. Thank you very much, Queen Gloria. We are very excited and thrilled, happy having you in our community. And thank you for your positive energy. It's contagious. And thank you for your leadership and commitment as well. My brother Theo says, greetings, my great brother Steve, dearest Mama Wino, and my awesome Bullrun family. I'm blessed to be here with each of you beautiful souls. Can't wait to get started with this review of 2024. I hope you had something to take away from this, brother Theo. And I hope you and yours are doing fantastic, and always happy to see you in the community. Great Mother Caroline says, as I reflect over the past 5 months, I have been truly blessed to be part of this community. We have all been educated and inspired by the best. Looking forward to 2025. The best is yet to come. Thank you so much, Queen Mother Caroline. It's always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Thank you for your feedbacks. Very, very much appreciated. Queen Connie says, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday back to you as well. Brother Liam says, happy Christmas from Ireland. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to the whole community. And also to you, Brother Liam. Thank you for greetings back to Ireland as well. Brother Abdullahi says, buckle up, Bullrun family. Get ready for a heart-stopping ride through 2024's highlights with King Steve. Let's relive the magic and make this Boxing Day unforgettable. I hope you had something to take away from today's session. It was very important for us to really understand how the year started, what really pushed it, how we got where we are, and what was the main points of 2024. But now we should also look beyond, as we have less than a week left in this year. And what can we anticipate? What can we expect in 2025? The focus will shift. It will be more clarity on regulation. It will be more focus on DeFi, specifically real-world assets, stablecoins, and regulations. And this is something that the World Economic Forum is working hand in hand, obviously, like we saw with the Ethereum Foundation. And also we saw that the largest infrastructure developer, that World Economic Forum says we need a new infrastructure as a backbone for this smart contract revolution to take place, right? And as World Economic Forum is saying that Amazon, the largest by market share, they have over 50% market share in cloud computing. They already secured and purchased AmazonEthereum.org. I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't do conspiracy theories either. But this is very, very obvious what's happening right now, right? Only because it has not hit mainstream yet, and big news outlets are not talking about it yet. That doesn't mean that something is not cooking in the background. The day that it becomes mainstream and it's official, I can't wait for us to have the community event and discuss that and go through those articles. It will be such an amazing day. I can already anticipate. So thank you, Brother Abdullahi, for your input. Brother Jun Tao says, please break out the calculator. Yeah, I usually break out the calculator to really, calculate and ensure that we can see how efficient our ecosystem is, compared to others. And I'll come back to this at the end. Queen Tomelezzo says, happy Boxing Day to all the Bullrun family kings and queens. Thank you so much, Queen Tomelezzo. You're very much appreciated. You're very much appreciated for your consistency, your leadership, being a key member of the community. Queen Deek says, greetings to King Steve, Queen Mamawino, and great Bullrun family. Excited to be part of this review. We were here to win. Absolutely. This is our only mission. We have no plan Bs here, and we'll achieve whatever we aim to achieve. Queen Marilyn says, excited to listen to this amazing teaching. Queen Emily says, consistency is truly key. We are here end of the year, again, receiving great education. Excited to be here. Thanks, Brother Steve, Queen Mom, for this great opportunity. We appreciate you very much, Queen Emily, and Queen Maryland also. Thank you very much for your consistency and your feedbacks as well. Queen Aloshi says, greetings, Bullrun family. I call myself truly blessed to be a member of this ecosystem. I'm a dollar billionaire in the making. How freeing it is. Thanks, Steve, Queen Awina, for the precious gift. Like we said, we have no CEOs, COOs, CIOs, and all these other official titles and marketing departments and all of that. It's a decentralized platform. Remember what I have to just show you this, right? Let me show you this. Let me share this with you. This is DeFi, right? What is DeFi? DeFi is largely owned and maintained by who? By who? By the users. This is not me saying it. This is the definition of DeFi. What is DeFi? DeFi is not owned by a CEO. It's not owned by a COO and all of these traditional finance companies. It's owned by and maintained by the users, the community. So it's important for us to understand, community, that what DeFi really stands for, you know. And this is the beautiful thing about all of this, is that we can, we are all members of this ecosystem, like Queen Aloshi said. And it takes all of us, right? It takes all of us, not just one or two people or three people. It takes every single one of us, right, to make this work. That's what DeFi is all about. It's owned and maintained by its users. That's the beautiful thing about DeFi, and we need to understand that. That was the topic of our last community event, right? Where we talked about you need a community that is informed and educated and inspired, and then you need a platform that is also solving the 4 challenges. That's exactly what it means. If you have those 2 things combined, you're unstoppable. Nothing can stop us, because now we are truly in DeFi. DeFi means you own your own assets, your own bank, you're your own custodian, right? You can trade 24/7 without being interrupted or stopped or blocked or restricted by third parties or intermediaries or government agencies. And that's the beautiful thing about DeFi, right? And it's owned and maintained by the community. So it takes every single one of us, just like Queen Aloshi says, right? It takes every single one of us to be members of this ecosystem. Queen Jane says, happy Boxing Day to all the kings and queens in the Bullrun family. Happy Boxing Day to you as well, Queen Jane. It's a pleasure having you here with us today. Queen Viola says, hi, queens and kings. Greetings back to you too, Queen Viola. It's a pleasure having you here with us today. Uncle George says, hello, Steve. Hello, Mama Wino. Merry Christmas to all. Eager to hear what you have for us. We are more and more enlightened with every session and are so grateful. Wish you good health and more wisdom as you lead. Thank you so much, Uncle George. You're very much appreciated. Thank you for your consistency, your leadership, your positive energy is contagious to us all in the community. And you're very much appreciated for all the efforts, your input that you put in to add so much value to this ecosystem. Queen Blessing says, greetings to my Bullrun family, our mother Queen and brother Steve, always excited for learning every day. We are happy to have you here with us in the community as well. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community, Queen Blessing. Happy to have you here with us. Queen Debbie says, happy Boxing Day community. Happy holidays, Mama Wina and my brother Steve. Happy Boxing Day, happy holidays to you and your family as well, Queen Debbie. We are happy to have you all here with us today, despite it being still a holiday, right? Queen Madi says, good evening, BRL family. Greetings back to you too, Queen Madi. We are happy to have you here with us today. Queen Marilyn says, hello, Queens and Kings. Glad to be here today, learning with Brother Steve. We are happy to have you here with us as well, Queen Marilyn. Queen Louisa says, greetings to the Bullrun community. Thanks, Mama Wino and Brother Steve. We thank you too for your commitment, your consistency, and what you do for the community. Queen Catherine says, hello, community. Happy holidays. Glad to be here today. We are happy to have you here with us today as well, Queen Catherine. Happy holidays back to you as well. Queen Louisa says, greetings, Bullrun family. We are blessed to have Mama Awina and Brother Steve. We are blessed having you too, Queen Louisa. Thank you so much. Queen Grace says, thank you to our Mr. Steve once again for showing up to educate us. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Knowledge is power. We are an educated and powerful community. Beautifully said, Queen Grace. Thank you so much for your feedback. You are also very much appreciated for always showing up, for always being, being a leader in the community, for your consistency as well. You're very much appreciated. Indeed, knowledge is power, and we are an educated and powerful community. Yes, we do. We are. And that's the beautiful thing. On top of all of that, we have a platform that goes right along with it, that solves the 4 challenges in the space as well. Queen Mother Wino herself says, happy holidays, family. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Beautifully said. I mean, there's nothing more to add to this. It's really self-explanatory. We have an amazing community, and your dedication speaks volumes, family. There's really nothing I can add to this. It says it all. Thank you so much, Queen Mother Wino, for this beautiful statement that you made and for uplifting the community. Thanks, Steve, for your unwavering commitment to the community. I can only thank you back as well for your commitment and your leadership by example. Thank you also, community, kings and queens, for all your efforts, your inputs. We can't be where we are without all of us chipping in and adding value in our own different ways. This is when I was asking if you were able to hear the YouTube video that I was playing. Yes, thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Queen Joko says it's interesting and very educative. It's an eye-opener too. Thank you so much, Queen Joko. You're very much appreciated. Queen Rosemary says, with all the information given by Mr. Steve, there is no doubt we are excelling. We are excelling, no giving up, Queens. Commitment is what we need. Beautifully said, Queen Rosemary. Just like Queen Mother Win also said earlier, it's not about commitment is not about right here. It comes from what you do consistently, right? Success doesn't come from occasionally doing things, but it's about consistency, right? And this is exactly the point. So beautifully said. Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Queen Rosemary. Very true, So excelling, we can't give up. We have to be consistent, remain consistent. And this is exactly what we need. My brother N2B2 says, hello, family. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Such a blessing to be able to attend these sessions. Lots to be excited about heading into 2025. Thank you, Steve, for all you do. Thank you too, brother N2B2, for all that you do and all your, your contributions. Your positive energy is contagious. Your commitment, your consistency is also very much appreciated. So thank you too, and happy holidays to you as well and your family. Queen Grace says, hello, BRL family. Thank you, Queen Mother and Steve, our dev, for your consistency in educating the community. Thank you for your consistency, for participating in all these community events as well. So very much appreciated. Queen Joko says, thank you, Mother and Mr. Steve, for enlightening us, Queens. Thank you for participating and being part of these sessions. Very much appreciated. Queen Felgona says, hello family, I appreciate the God who connected me to this wonderful family. I don't take it for granted. I am blessed to walk the journey with Mama Queen Mother Winner and my son Steve. Thank you so much, Queen Felgona. You're very much appreciated. We are pleased, thrilled, and excited to have you in the community. We welcome you wholeheartedly. Thank you also for your contributions. Thank you for your commitment, your consistency by showing up in these community events and adding value by your feedbacks and statements. Very much appreciated. Queen Felgona, Father says, may the Almighty God grant you more grace, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. May His presence always envelop your lives. May His protection be upon you always. I can now call myself a billionaire. These are great, great affirmations that you share with us, Queen Felgona. We receive all of this, and thank you so much. May the same be for you as well. Thank you for your contribution and for your wonderful, wonderful statement. Queen Jane says, I look forward to a great Ethereum harvest. Absolutely. This will push the ecosystem, Ethereum ecosystem further, and a rising tide will lift all boats. Queen Evelyn says, hello family. Happy to be together during the end of the 2024. We thank you, Steve, for being there for us. Glory to the Most High. Thank you so much. You're very much appreciated, Queen Evelyn. Thank you for your feedback. And absolutely, it's a pleasure that we can come together as a community and appreciate this final YouTube session in 2024 and close out on a Twitter space like we started the year. This is just beautiful. Queen Lati says, community, with what I heard during this presentation, what we are holding is bigger than us. Every day there is a new way explained about this ecosystem. This is massive. Hats off to our visionaries. Thank you so much for your feedback, Queen Lati. You're also very much appreciated for your commitment, your consistency. Very much appreciated. We have Queen Jane says, a very informative session. I'm glad that you had something to take away from all of this and that it was of value to you. Very much appreciated. Queen Val reminds us kindly to engage with this video. It's very important to do so as it will reach as many people as possible. That's the whole idea, that it reaches as many people as possible to bring awareness to our industry, our ecosystem, and to highlight the challenges we experience in the industry and how our ecosystem is tackling, addressing them, and finding solutions, or rather have found solutions for those challenges. So let's ensure that we engage with the video even after the stream, most importantly. Queen Esther says, thank you so much again, Steve, for sharing your expertise with us. Thank you too, Queen Esther, for participating and being consistent in participating in these community events. Queen Marlene says, wow, very powerful and informative. Thank you so much, Brother Steve. Thank you too, Queen Marlene, for participating and being part of this session today. Queen Irene says, thanks, Steve, for the commitment. This session has really equipped me as I wait for the Bullrun. May God bless you abundantly. Thank you so much, Queen Irene, for taking your time on this holiday, for being part of this community events today. You're very, very much appreciated. And you are also committed. That's why you're showing up even on a holiday to be part of this session today. Brother Dave says, thanks for the amazing session. I hope you enjoyed your holiday with your family. Thank you, Brother Dave. Surely did. I hope you and yours did as well, and that you are all safe. Glad that you're able to make it to today's session, even during a holiday. And Queen Ntite says, happy Boxing Day, Bullrun family. Very informative and powerful, Brother Steve. Thank you so much. We can't finish on a higher note than this. I want to thank you just as much, Queen Ntite, and everybody else, all the kings and queens in the community, for taking your time being part of this session today. As we look forward, as we're closing in on this 2024, the takeaway of this session today, hopefully, is that we understand that in 2025, there'll be a shift of focus. It will be more focusing on DeFi, more focus on stablecoins, regulations, more clarity on real-world assets. And we see that not just the World Economic Forum that is working together with the Ethereum Foundation, but also the focus is on infrastructure, building a new infrastructure that is more efficient, that is not outdated and from the 1970s like the financial system currently is. And this is where Amazon comes in and really can capture this market and really maintain and keep dominating the cloud computing service industry as they tackle Ethereum and take this project on themselves. As we read that World Economic Forum says, we need a new infrastructure to be the backbone, right, for this DeFi revolution. And we see that DeFi is not just DeFi is dominated by Ethereum, and Ethereum is the backbone of DeFi, decentralized finance. So with that said, community, I want to wish us all a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week, and looking forward to our next community event, still in 2024. And may you stay blessed, focused throughout these remaining days in the year until we meet again. I want to wish you all a wonderful time. Thank you for participating, being part of this session. It's been extra long session today. Thank you for participating and being part of this session today. Be blessed, stay focused, stay hungry. Let's be elevated. Let's remain consistent, like Queen Mother Winner said. It's not about doing things on occasion, but it's about success. It's all about consistency. We have to be consistent. And we can't ask for something that we don't do, right? That's not right. You can't ask for something that you are not capable of doing. So this is why we lead by example and are here every time, right? Without delay, without any skipping any days or anything. We're consistent, right? So we are leading by example so that the whole community can feed into this energy and to this consistency, right? We need it to grow, to excel, to bring awareness. That's the blueprint that we need. Everything else we have the community that is informed and educated. We have the platform that solves the challenges. We have everything going. Now we just need to remain hungry and be consistent, make noise on the social platforms, be consistent in this community event by showing up. And even today, right after this session, let's ensure that we engage with them, like Winval suggested. Let's also engage with the comments, likes, and let's engage with it, right? With that said, community, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay blessed. To meet again. Bye-bye, everyone.